So East Pennsboro set us up for success from the beginning, whether they knowingly or not. They made 2 coaches, which I think is a must, so that there can be dialogue between the two. We were both in the building. We taught in the building before we were coaches, which hopefully gives us that rapport with the teachers. And Tracy and I also worked together for many years, so our relationship was already established, and we knew we worked well together prior to going into that. So going into it, I thought, knowing nothing about coaching, I thought everyone was going to open their classroom doors and welcome us with open arms, and there was going to be a waiting list. Well, that really wasn't the case. So going to our monthly IU mentor meetings around October, we really hadn't had a whole lot of interaction with the teachers, and so I brought it up at one of our breakout sessions, and I said, there hasn't been a lot of teacher buy-in. No one really is interested in utilizing us. And one of the coaches asked me, well, how are you presenting it? How are you approaching it? And never really thought about that. So I found out I was using the word observe, and that's an evaluative term. I would say to teachers, you want me to come observe anything? Is there anything that, and they said, right there, that's the wording is, I would have never thought of that prior to that meeting. So right there, change the wording, change the approach. We started to get some teacher buy-in. So one of the early on coaching interactions that I had, a teacher approached me about some classroom management issues. It was a 6th grade teacher. I had taught the students the previous year. I knew the students. I thought this would be great. We did our pre-conference. She talked about some of the things she wanted for me to take a look at. Wonderful. Came in, took some notes, saw some things. Things were going great. Then comes the after. So we sit down and we start to talk about it. And I was talking about what I saw, and all of a sudden the dialogue just stopped. That she got very defensive, and the after just it didn't work. And so I thought, well, I can go one of 2 ways. I can just say, oh well, or if I'm expecting my teachers to reflect on their actions, I need to reflect on it as well. So the next coaches meeting that I went to, Tom was there, Nancy Nussbaum was there, and it was great because I had a wealth of resources. And I said, well, I'd like to share. So I shared my story and kind of got a sidetrack, but I wanted to learn why it didn't go well. And so 25 minutes later of great dialogue with these coaching experts, I realized there were some things that I could have presented in a different way, but it was also that the climate wasn't established yet, and some of the teachers weren't ready for it yet. So I knew that it wasn't all me. I knew that the coaching model wasn't doomed at our school, but there were things that we could do to greatly improve it. So the collaboration that our teachers are now having, as Tracy said, we're in charge of a lot of, most of the professional development. And that's the thing that we really want the teachers to do, because in teaching, so many of them are in isolation, as Bruce was saying. They're in their classrooms, they're by themselves, they have very little adult interaction. So we want to change that because we can learn from each other. So if we want them to reflect, we have to reflect as well. So any of our professional development that we have them do, we always have them talking, we always have them working with their content partner. So we just want to have them start the conversation, because there are resources in the school all around us. There's people that are doing things in their classrooms that are wonderful, and other teachers don't know about it. So as coaches, we find that we're the connector. We connect what is great that's happening in 5th grade with the upstairs wing in 8th grade, that those 2 grades will go weeks without ever crossing paths. So we're the connecting vessel to the whole building. And that's really where we're seeing the morale and the buy-in change, that the teachers are seeing other things that they never would have seen if it wasn't because of the coaching model of things that are happening in the building. So without the support of the IU, without the support of PIC, a lot of this couldn't have been possible, because to be quite honest, Tracy and I wouldn't have had any idea what we were doing. And we would have stumbled through it, and it would have been okay, but it wouldn't have been nearly as effective as it is, because we have the support of these people who have been doing it for so long. So.
And at what point in your conversation did you think, well, who are they talking about?
Yeah.
Been there, done that. Great.
I missed what word you're using instead of observe.
They said, say, do you just want me to, anything you want me to take a look at? And I said, take a look is non-threatening. Observe is evaluative. Observe is
Well, that's my
administrative.
first thought. It's a lot better than evaluate.
Yeah, well, at least I knew better. I didn't say evaluate a lesson. I said observe, and apparently that wasn't good. But
Well,
yeah,
that's
just,
pretty
you know,
hard.
hey, is there anything you want me to take a look at? Do you
Yeah.
want me to come in and stop by? Non-threatening.
And
Never would have thought of that.
Big, but that's a
It's a
big,
huge
that
difference.
is a big.